Witch's Hill.
What's that? Are those chocolates?
These are not your chocolates.
Are those... Oh my god, is that a chocolate-covered cock?
With marshmallow filling.
Oh boy! You got little snowballs for the balls.
I don't like snowballs.
It could be...
You know, it's not... It
could be something else.
I don't know what it is. It isn't the taste, though. I hate to repeat what they say in fucking Zombieland, but it's not the taste. It really is the consistency. It's not great.
There is a lot of coconut.
I don't mind coconut. Coconut's great.
Or are you talking about the marshmallow?
I guess the marshmallow.
That's the whole fucking point.
But it's not like an... I don't know. It's...
That's like taking the filling out of a Twinkie. You're like, oh, here's a Twinkie.
Okay, that's not... If that was Twinkie filling, it would be better.
It's like the same fucking thing.
Except without, like, a fucking harder shell. It's almost like...
It's a squishy shit. What the shit?
I think it's almost like mochi.
What?
Is that what it was?
Mochi.
Mochi?
What's mochi?
That's that one dessert thing I showed you at Mitsuha.
Huh?
It's like that, like, rice dessert. It's rice, but it's like a cake.
Oh.
And they're little...
Oh, yeah. I started thinking about that statue I saw of Goku and Chi-Chi.
Oh my god.
Wait, that's the one thing I took away from that place. Besides food.
I mean, yeah.
I'm hungry.
Welcome to Witch's Hill.
And we're hungry.
We are very hungry.
We're hungry.
I miss that ramen that we had. You guys didn't get the good ramen.
Yeah, you stood in the line and we were like, okay, over here. And then we went someplace else and... it wasn't as good.
No.
It was alright. I don't even remember where it was, but... Anyway, I'm Pat.
I'm Tim.
We didn't even announce ourselves.
No, we didn't.
Right back to the conversation.
Anyway,
back to noodles.
It was really good fucking ramen. Like, I never thought I'd say that. Well,
I'm Pocky.
I guess this is we're talking, of course, today about Japan.
Yes, more specifically, something that's at the bottom of Mount Fuji.
It is Aokigahara.
Which is known as Jukai, the Sea of Trees. Or, in other words...
The Suicide Forest.
Yes.
It is... now, specifically about it, it's the statistics on the death rates there. It's it kind of varies what you look up, but it is definitely among, like, one of the top 2 places in the world.
Normally, wherever you look at, it's mainly contending with the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
But with that said, if you do have those type of thoughts or know somebody that does, have them call the suicide hotline. It's open 24/7. Call 1-800-273-8255. Again, that is 1-800-273-8255.
Because it's just it is fucked up, and no, you shouldn't kill yourself.
No.
But apparently a lot of people do here. And
yeah.
There's some. We're talking about this today because there's some fucked up shit about this. Ever since we really first heard about this years ago,
yeah,
both of us were immediately like, what the fuck, and researched the hell out of it.
Isn't it like on the other end of the Bermuda Triangle?
You know what? Actually, I've heard that before, but I don't.
That literally just popped back in my mind. I might be thinking of something else, but probably should have looked that up before this.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Oh, you're gonna look it up right now?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Alright, let's see this. We might be able to find it. I'll laugh if it's not even that. It's over by Australia. But yeah, Aokigahara is very, very dark place. It's so condensed that they say that if you walk in maybe about 50 feet or so, and you screamed at the top of your lungs, no one's gonna hear you. The trees are so dense, and a lot of hikers who go there, whether they're in a group or not, they obviously have to kind of like tether off somewhere so that way they can find their way back, because the trails themselves are so winding and twisting that you could walk out there, spin around a bunch of times, and then lose your spot. But At the same time, I don't know why you'd go into the woods just to spin around.
Yeah, I mean, and these woods are very, very dense. You know, of course, we said it's on the foot of Mount Fuji, which actually hasn't been active in like how many years?
I actually have it written down right here. Mount Fuji has not had a major eruption since 864 CE.
So it's been
some time.
It's been dormant as fuck.
It's just waiting to fucking erupt.
But since it was, you know, the soil there is really rich. It's hardened with all the magma, so it's created a lot of like these weird small tunnels and caves.
Mm-hmm. Like the whole forest bedding is lava rock. And
since it's made the ground very, very fertile, so the way that the trees grow, it said that the way the trees grow, they grow in all different kind of shapes.
Mm-hmm.
And because of they're all in these weird looking shapes, it's been said that it kind of gives the illusion that they're walking.
That's creepy. Could you actually imagine being in there and just like walking around, and then you start hearing like sticks and shit crack, and you look back and there's just like tree beard?
I mean, if it was Treebeard, I'd be okay, but, you know...
I'd climb up him. I'd just sit on his shoulder and be like, oh, let's go that way. Let's climb Mount Fuji.
You know, it almost reminded me... Oh, you haven't seen it.
What?
It almost reminded me of the forest in One Piece on Sky Island.
Oh, yeah, I haven't watched that.
It's kind of similar, just more dense.
Okay. Actually, just a quick side note, because we just kind of trailed off there for a second. If you're ever interested in learning a little bit more about Aokigahara or want to see it in a horror movie or anything, I advise you to not watch The Forest.
No.
It literally doesn't do anything. It doesn't even come to light what half of that stuff goes on in this place. Like, everything that we're about to tell you guys about has virtually nothing to do with the movie, but everything to do with the actual subject. Yes. And it's just kind of sad that Hollywood keeps doing this and just like, oh, well, this will be a better story. It's like, no, dude. This place is so mysterious and dark that, okay, yeah, you could just talk about like how many people go there, but the thing is why? Why just this place? It almost seems like you were talking about curses before. It's almost like there's like some type of natural draw to this place.
There really is, and because a lot of people go there to commit suicide, it's going to create this really fucking dark-ass energy.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they believe that because of the lore from it, which we're about to go into, the trees are believed to be soaked in this malevolent I fucked it up again.
Malevolent.
Thank you. And it's believed to be that way for centuries. God, I can't fucking talk.
If you were interested in like the location of it, it's less than 100 miles away from Tokyo. I've forgotten which specific district it is.
How could you?
What?
That threw you off.
I was reading something and you said that. I was like, but the forest itself is about 30 square kilometers, so...
Yeah.
I mean, it's big, but not, like, super vast. But, I mean, it's fucking big.
It's fucking massive.
There's also known to be certain spots where just plant life won't grow.
Yes, I was trying to specifically find stuff about that because I've heard stories of areas where just nothing grows.
Mm-hmm. Like a circle?
Yes.
Just for whatever reason.
So, and there was another thing, I actually wanted to look it up, but I forgot. I've heard some stories that this is supposed to be one of the 7 gates of hell or something like that. I couldn't find any lore about it. I would love to find those kind of stories and just read them for myself, just because that's... Yeah. When it has, even if it's just a fucking story, if it has a connection that's kind of real, it's always cool to be like, well, what if?
Yeah, it's fascinating and just thought-provoking, you know?
Exactly. Use your imagination. It makes life more fun.
Exactly.
So, you know, like we were saying, a lot of bad energy, a lot of death there. It's created quite many stories, as you can fucking tell. And it dates back for a long fucking time.
Oh, yeah. Back in the day, there's that there's a rumor. I'll say rumor because we've looked all around and we cannot verify this at all. But there was the act of what is it called? Ubasute, I think is how you pronounce it. It's when you take an elderly person and you essentially leave them in an isolated area to die alone.
It's like a brutal form of euthanasia.
Yeah, but this also was not a common practice in Japan. So if this was even likely to happen, we were discussing this earlier, is that it might have been along the lines of similar to the Great Depression over here when people were so hungry that they were literally selling their children.
Yeah, I imagine it's like the old fucking times.
Yeah, who knows what happened in the past, but that is something that we cannot confirm.
Yes. You can't say that it's accurate. It could just be told as some kind of like grim folklore.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of this stuff that I kind of see it as that. With how some of it's been worded, I was just like, I can't tell if this is... I can't confirm that this is accurate.
Yeah.
Either way, it's fascinating.
I mean, going back with all that, I mean, there's a little bit of mythology with Mount Fuji. It's a home to two gods, and I'm about to fuck this last name up because it's so long.
I'm going to say this now. We're talking about stuff from Japan. Yeah, we really like anime and stuff like that, but
Weebs!
But we are going to butcher some of these names, so just going to apologize ahead of time right now, because I know there's a couple of them that I'm probably not going to say right. I can't even say malevolent.
There you go.
I barely said it.
You got it, though.
I'm just going to keep drinking.
So the home to these gods are Ninigi, or Ninigi, and his wife, goddess Konohana Seikuya Hime.
Oh, hey, you did it.
Because I took my time.
You did the thing.
I did the thing. But that's some of the mythology from back in the day. But continuing on, because like we said, we can't confirm the Ubasute or, yeah. I
mean, regardless, though, I will say that Japan has had a long history of suicide. Because there was seppuku, the samurai ritual of honor. That dates back to the feudal era.
Yeah.
You know, it definitely has left its mark on the country with how suicide can be seen as a way of taking responsibility. That last sentence, that was a quote from Yoshinori Cho, who is the author of Why Do People Commit Suicide?
Oh.
I didn't fuck that one up that much.
Oh, you got it. Getting through it. A little quick side note, too, while we're getting into this, is that we know a lot of people like to go out, go ghost adventuring and stuff like that. Zach Biggins. And, sorry, I had to. But everybody likes to go out and adventure and stuff. But if you come across certain things, like what we're talking about, people go there to kill themselves. So, you know, there's some YouTubers out there that are very disrespectful when they go out and happen to stumble across, let's say, a body or what have you, and they don't give anybody enough respect as to not show that. Because imagine something happened to somebody that you loved or cared about, and then you see that on YouTube. Like, that's not fucking cool. That is not okay in any way. And I heard that, like, I didn't see everything. I did see the original video, but it was without the audio, and people were saying that the whole video about this, like, I have not name dropped, but if you know what I'm talking about, well, there you go. Apparently, everybody got pissed off at this dude because he started laughing. Like, it was, like, ill-timed, whether it was shock or that's how he... I don't know, but it rubbed people the wrong way, and it just... Whether it was in good intentions or not...
It's just bad taste.
It is. But with that said, don't be an asshole.
Easy. Easier said than done, I should say. There's a lot of assholes.
Yeah, there are. Anyway, continuing on. It seems that this suicide hotspot is so sought out that they found around 100 bodies every year, and back in 2003 they found 105. Now, whenever you look this up, I've come across varying numbers, but it's not really by much. It's either by 100. There's like 103, and some people say 105. So it varies just by a little bit, but still, regardless,
you have to still say though that's confirmed.
That's
a confirmed amount.
Exactly.
That's why I feel like there's different varying numbers.
Yeah.
Because, I found the same thing. When everything that I was trying to look up, it was all not cohesive.
No, I understand that.
Now, I guess the most popular way of committing suicide there is forest hanging, with the second most being poisoning or ODing.
That's dark.
It's I don't know why. I couldn't imagine hanging as like a liable choice. It sounds more painful than... No.
Well, I don't think people in that mind frame is necessarily thinking of like pain at that point. They're still, they have so much in them that's not their main focus. It's just getting it done and over with, and that's But sadly enough, when people do end up doing this, the people that have to retrieve the bodies and kind of deal with everything it's not the cops or the fire department or the morgue or anything like that. It's the fucking forest workers.
Yep.
They have a specific room that they have to put the bodies in, and sometimes, depending on when they're found, those forest workers will have to stay overnight with that. And that's...
I actually read something up about that, too. I guess because there's a belief, because of all that negative energy that is present there, it's what created the Yuri, I think it was, which are said to be like kind of like demons.
Yeah.
And I guess that's one of the reasons why one has to stay there. There was like a story of group of 3, and they would actually play like a form of rock, paper, scissors to see who sleeps with the body, because they can't leave the body out for the Yuri. They have to. One of them has to be present for it.
Oh, that's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh man, so that's almost like playing like a midnight game and just like, all right, you're gonna see it, you're gonna deal with it, have fun.
Yeah, it's fucked, dude.
That's terrifying.
But they're just the Rangers, so it's like, damn.
They got balls of steel, dude.
There is some you can find some documentaries and some videos of these guys. There was one that I saw of one of the Rangers that was his job. He would go out into the forest, find some lions, because I guess that's what people do. Is there's a set path. It's a park. There's a set path to go through the forest, but it's when you go off the forest, because these trees are so dense.
Yeah.
There's all the magma underneath the forest floor has created essentially these weird magnetic pockets. So compasses don't work.
Yeah, they'll lead you all in the wrong direction and shit.
Because of how dense it is, no light gets through, no sound gets through.
Yeah, you can't, like, I said it earlier, but yeah, if you scream in there, like, no one's going to hear you.
Nope. So
I wonder what would happen if you took, like, an air horn into the center and just, like, let it go.
Actually, I think they might have done something. Have you ever seen the show Destination Truth?
Mm-hmm.
They went to Aokigahara in one of the episodes.
Oh, I should.
And I believe they split off into like groups of 2. There was, I think, 3 different groups, and they set up certain perimeters, and like it was actually done really good. I liked it. They might have caught something. I don't know. You're gonna have to see for yourself and say what you think.
Oh, right on.
But I think they tested that. So.
Oh, I want to plug something just really quick, because I know you differed on it a little bit, but there is an interesting video. I'll say interesting because I thoroughly enjoyed it, but there's a video by TFIL on YouTube, and they go to Aokigahara and they essentially spend the night out there, and it's just interesting watching their entire journey progress from beginning to end. You do see some things. I'm not going to say what, but it's not bad. It's not bad, but it's one of those tension building ones. It's like their own version of the Blair Witch. It's really the closest way I can come to describing that video.
Yeah, I was just upset. Why would you go out there so ill prepared?
Hey, dude. I mean, I was pretty ill prepared even for the Melrose house.
True,
but that was only because I was limited on equipment and.
True.
So. I don't know. I give them props. I like what they did, but that's TFIL.
So, back to these forest rangers.
Mm-hmm.
They, because it's so dense and so thick and nothing can get through it. A lot of people that go out there, they'll lay out these lines of like ribbons or tape. A lot of things said tape. Just so they could pretty much, if they choose to, they could find their way back. Just follow the ribbon. Which he would follow him and just see what he finds. It's
just scary.
It's really morbidly fascinating is the way that I like to put it.
It really is fascinating, but it's also like just a dark, depressing fascinating,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know what word to fucking put out there, but just we didn't mention what Yuri actually means.
So what does Yuri mean?
The ghost, which means like a ghost that has unfinished business and cannot move on to the afterlife.
Yeah.
But you were talking about like demons and stuff. I did come across one other one.
Yeah.
There might be other ones that we're not talking about or anything. So if you know about anything, feel free to comment and post or email us even. Amongst other demons and spirits, the forest also supposedly houses a bird-like demon or ghost, and it's called Tengu. It's like a bird from hell. So, yeah, just I don't know, if you see something, it's not Superman.
I kind of want to read about that.
I don't want to see it. I just don't want to get taken away. That's the one. Well, I mean, that's a pretty metal way to go, but
I mean, yeah, that would be metal as fuck.
A demon bird just taking you away.
But I don't want to know what that demon bird's going to do to me.
He just wants to have fun and like a friend.
And its version of fun is not fun for me.
You don't know that.
What is normal to the spider is chaos to the fly.
Well, maybe you're the spider in that situation. Maybe
I
it's just
doubt a demon bird is the fly.
Maybe the bird is afraid of a frog or something, and it's just like, dude, can you move it?
All right, I guess. Optimistic. Going out optimistic there.
I don't know. I watched How to Train Your Dragon last night, so I'm pretty optimistic. But yeah, those are the two things that we've got so far for like demons. There's the Yuri and the Tengu.
I mentioned those ribbons.
Mm-hmm.
There was a story I looked up that this one woman actually claims that while she was going through the forest, her line was cut. She got lost and could not find her way back.
What was she using for her line? Was it like yarn?
No, I think it was saying it was tape.
Tape?
Yeah, it was one of the ones that was saying her tape line was cut.
I don't know how strong tape lines are, because I'm just thinking like tape.
Wasn't ripped, wasn't torn.
Like legit cut.
Yeah. She followed it back and the line was cut. It just ended. She got lost. She eventually found her way out, but that's kind of terrifying.
That's absolutely terrifying, because even if it isn't like the Yuri or Tengu or what have you, it just means that somebody else is out there. Exactly. And why would they do that to you? That's fucking terrifying.
It's very terrifying.
Ugh.
I think something like that almost happens in that one thing you...
Oh, from TFIL?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I remember that. That gave me
their markers were moved. I remember that because when they were on their way back and their flashlights were dying and shit, like that. Like I said, it's a very Blair Witch experience, and like even if it was staged, it was good, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Check it out. Let us know what you guys think. But like we said, everything's so dense and like winding. I think it's. Oh, okay. So I guess only a half a mile in to Aokigahara, and all signs of like human life start just randomly disappearing, like just gone.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's because like the closed paths that they have, like the Like, you're not supposed to go past that marker type thing, or maybe, I don't know. Oddly enough, we know for a fact that there's a presence that both draws people in and keeps people away.
Yes.
And that's weird. Because it has both. Normally it's one.
Well, see, there was... one of the things I looked up was that there was a Buddhist monk who actually sets up altars to try to combat these evil spirits, because, as he believes, he claims that the spirits are trying to inspire people to kill themselves. It's kind of egging them on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it kind of has just a pull to it.
Mm. That, like, very demonic thing where it's feeding off your emotions and stuff. That's been heard in many cases, so it's not surprising to me to hear that from Aokigahara of all places.
Like, Pennywise?
Dude, if I went there and I saw a fucking clown, I'm out. I'm done. I am done.
Oh, good thing you didn't... I wonder if the whole fucking clown craze was over there. When was that? 2016?
I think 2016, yeah. It's when we had...
that was a stupid year.
That was fucking weird, man.
It was a stupid year.
That was so fucking
there
weird.
Were clowns chasing people with knives. Can you imagine if that happened over there in Aokigahara?
I don't even know.
The fuck?
Well, I mean, we had the clown sightings over here, too.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they were over there, but... Killer Clowns from 2016.
Yeah. That's a legit problem we had. That's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that's something you guys know about here in America from those people who are listening from all over the planet. Yeah, we had a clown problem.
I feel like they had to have known
If
about
you
it.
didn't know, I mean... We're sorry to be the ones that had to tell you.
Oh, no.
As sad as it is that people do end up going there to take their own lives, it's bad because a lot of people aren't found too. They literally go missing.
Yeah.
Like their stuff and everything is found, like their tent and their belongings. You can also find, or actually stumble upon all like the missing shoes and shit.
And the cars, I know that there's a lot of... It's common practice that these rangers, they look for the cars.
Yeah.
They see, like, if cars have been there for a while, they'll start looking in. So like, okay, what's in here? Sometimes they'll find a map and just a specific book, which will go into that book later.
Yeah. But again, if you are having these types of thoughts or feelings, please call the suicide hotline.
Or talk to someone.
Or talk to somebody.
It's not your only option.
Yeah. And that suicide hotline number is 1-800-273-8255.
So this is a good time to hear a word from our sponsor.
Yes. This is a way to, let's say if you go to Aokigahara, to not bring shit back with you.
Yeah, and protect yourself.
Nancy.
Are you moving into a new home or remodeling a home or office? Are you trying to sell a home but can't seem to find the right people to buy it? Does the energy in certain parts of the home or office feel uncomfortable, spooky, stuck, or blocked? Do you feel your own personal growth, healing, and evolution has stymied? Has there been sudden pain or illness you can't explain? Has there been any deaths? Is anyone having trouble sleeping, restless children in bed, or night terrors? Is there a lot of fighting and bad experiences with the home or office? Do you ever see moving shadows, flying objects, hear voices, or smell weird odors? Do your appliances or machines break down or have mechanical issues often? Do you seem to be having a string of bad luck? If you've answered yes to any of the following questions, please consider getting a clearing by us. Please contact Reverend Nancy for a quote at 630-340-0877 or her partner Amanda at 719-271-7309.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
So, welcome back.
Yeah, don't rub your finger there.
Enjoying my non-mentholated cigarette.
That's a tofu stick.
You weren't supposed to tell him I wanted to be cool.
No. I'm getting the squirt bottle.
Oh, okay.
Get off the couch. So anyway, back to Aokigahara. If you do end up going there and you do end up camping overnight or what have you, don't be surprised if you end up seeing a friendly face come up with a flashlight, because they have a suicide patrol or suicide prevention group, and they'll come up to any of the tents that they see just to know that you're all right, because they're going to treat everybody the same. They don't know if you're there to do that or if you're just enjoying the forest.
Exactly, because I mean, people will camp there, and they've even erected what they call positive posts.
Yeah,
and they're littered all throughout the trail, and this random sayings on it, just like think carefully about your kids, your family, and your life is a precious gift from your parents. Just to try to talk people out of it. No, they're all over.
Mm-hmm. And they should be. I mean, I hope that they have helped at least somebody along the way.
I feel like they had to have.
Yeah. But I guess people from far away obviously come here to commit suicide. Between 2013 and 2015, about 100 bodies were recovered. They weren't from the local areas surrounding the forest, so I guess things have traveled very far. And like that, I think, was specifically from just Japan itself, like the little districts around it. It was like from all over.
Oh, damn.
As well as certain other countries. But it didn't go into full definition as to where everybody came from or numbers or anything.
No. And whether they're from there or not, the suicide rates, they are higher than the norm there. With the highest being, from what I've read, the market crash of 2008 saw 2,645 recorded deaths in just January of 2009.
And that's in Japan, but not just Aokigahara.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Which they reached their peak in March, but I could not find that number.
Okay.
However, at the deaths that year were almost 33,000.
That's so much. Oh my god.
And with the highest percentage of age range was people in their 50s to 60s.
That's sad.
So,
That's sad to hear. I know that back in 2010, around 247 people took their lives there.
That's like twice as high.
Yeah, it was a dramatic spike too.
2010?
Yeah. Didn't you come across a story about somebody encountering Yuri?
I want to read that at the end.
Oh, you want to read that at the end?
I found a story posted on Reddit. It's interesting. Whether it's true or false, I'll let you guys decide. But it's a really compelling story. So we'll read that at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Moving back to kind of some of the darker side. Of course, there was a Vice documentary that actually uncovered a curse there.
A curse?
There was a Jack Skellington-like doll with its face cut off, and it was nailed upside down on a tree. Now, the guy that was present for this said that this was done as like a contempt for society, with the curse nailed into the tree itself. And it's actually not uncommon to find this. I know, again, in some of our earlier years of looking this stuff up, there was a documentary I saw of that guy, the ranger. He found a doll. It was a primitive-looking doll, I wanted to say. It almost looked like something from, like, the Blair Witch. And that was hanging from a tree with this plaque nailed to the tree. And what I don't remember what he said was on it, but he was specifically saying this is like a curse. These people, they go there, when they go there and commit suicide, they have this just hatred for everything, so they just have to leave that mark there. You can only imagine the kind of negative energy that they are instilling in that place.
Yeah. Though at the same time, I don't think that's their intention. It's just something. It's like a byproduct of what they're doing.
Yes. Because I mean, it's unnatural there. Like we said, there's like a pulling, like there. It's
some
almost,
type of supernatural activity of something.
Yeah, some kind of force that just kind of twists your mind. There's even reports of this unnatural, blood-curdling scream that can be heard throughout all the forest randomly.
Yeah, that's one thing I would not want to hear.
Especially when you know that there's like, okay, if you're in the thick of this forest, you have to imagine like this bubble around you. No idea how big that bubble is, but that bubble is everything you can hear. So if you hear a high-pitched, blood-curdling scream,
it's close.
That's close to you.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, especially with the density of those trees and shit. Like, that's with a stone's throw away.
Yes. And there was one writer for the Japan Times that he was talking that he was in the forest. He hears this scream, so he decides, I'm going to go find it. He said that when he found the source of where the scream came from, there was a dead body that looks like it had been there for days. Nothing else around.
I hope he found it in the light, not like at night, you know?
That's the one thing the story did not say. If that was at night, I would be shitting my pants.
I would probably either just drop dead right there from freaking out, or I would like just try to slowly walk back until that thing moved. Because if that thing moved, I'm not running until I either make it out of the forest or I like get impaled on a branch.
Yeah. Like Tucker and Dale vs. Evil style?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. That movie. That movie was not what I expected. I don't remember what made me turn it on. But I'm watching it, I'm like, oh! Well, that's a thing.
All I know is that the dude from Firefly is in it.
I've never even seen Firefly.
And he's been in a couple other different things, but I like him as an actor. Just forgot his name. I can't think of it for the life of me right now.
So, there's a lot of dark fucking shit here.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would love to visit, but the history is kind of creepy as shit.
The history is very creepy.
Not pulling me away; it's actually drawing me in.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird feeling, but yeah, I completely know what you mean. The more we research about it, with how dark it is, it's just the more fascinating it is.
I wonder if GPSs work over there.
No.
No?
GPSs do not work.
Oh, okay, so it's just a roll of the die.
It's seriously, when you go into this forest, you have to leave a line. That line is your only safety. And apparently it can get cut. Apparently it can get moved.
Yeah.
You're out in the forest with God knows what negative entities could be out there. So, I
wonder if oh wait, no, that's stupid. I was supposed to say, I wonder if cameras work out there, and I was just promoting fucking TFIL. Just, wait a minute.
Or the fact that we were talking about Destination Truth.
Yeah, my dumb ass.
They were able to navigate it pretty well, I will say.
Yeah?
You should look that up. I don't remember where I was able to see it at, but you should look it up. It was a good one.
Destination Truth?
Yes.
Oh, I could find it. Internet is vast.
Now, I will say, too, I had mentioned this earlier. Remember when I said a book?
A book?
When the Rangers would be looking through the cars, sometimes they would see a specific book.
Mm-hmm.
Or two specific books.
Yeah.
It's these books that a lot of people tend to trace that this is where the popularity of suicide came from. Which, I'm going to say my opinion about it at the end. It was a book from the 1960s by Shijo Matsumoto's. It was a novel titled Kurio Kaiju, or basically The Black Sea of Trees. And it basically was kind of like a Romeo and Juliet type story where the lovers commit suicide in the forest. And a lot of people are saying that's what kind of... I get that kind of romanticizes the idea.
Yeah.
But you can't just blame a fucking book. I'm sorry. That, in that sense, it's just a story. That's the same thing as when people were blaming fucking Doom and Marilyn Manson for Columbine. That's kind of like, fuck you.
I get it. It could be a contributing factor. It could be very well.
It romanticizes it.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
But to place the blame, come on.
Placing the blame is a whole other thing.
Well, there was one other book that I was just like, what? This book is titled The Complete Manual to Suicide. It was written by Wataru Tsurumi.
Yeah, Wataru Tsurumi.
It named the forest in the book as the perfect place to die. And this is the book that a lot of times when they're looking through people's belongings, they find this a lot.
Oh.
So that's fucked. That one I can understand. If you're not romanticizing the idea with a story. You're just flat out saying, hey, go kill yourself here.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah, I'm not going to say what else is in that book, but I'm sure our viewers can, guess what else is in there.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah, if you want to look it up, that's on your own thing, but I do not advise it. Do not advise it.
Not at all.
No. But that's Aokigahara in a nutshell. But those were just facts that we've looked up. We did come across a story, or rather Tim came across a story on Reddit of somebody who did encounter a Yuri. So
yeah, this is such a compelling story, so I'm excited to read this.
It's creepy.
Now I'm going to summarize this, because this story is actually really fucking long. So
it's really long.
Essentially, the premise of this story is about a young woman. I think she was 30. I think she said she was 30 in the story. Everything was going great in life, and then she was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer. And when she started undergoing the chemo really started making her sick, so she couldn't go into work ever. So that ended up, they fired her. They got rid of her. They gave her a severance package, and she lost her job.
That's shitty.
Well, her partner, having to take care of her the whole time, got sick of it, ended up cheating on her, and left her. So she's sitting there. She just lost her job. She just lost her partner, who she's been with for a long time. So, she said that when she was a kid, she had looked up and was fascinated, like we are, of Aokigahara. And it just popped in her head. And she's like, well, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out my way. So that's what she does with the rest of her money. She goes there. Finds a secluded, she just walks into the forest. She lays a green line, goes into the forest, sets up a camp. And this is where I'm going to pick up in the story. I was about to down the pills with resolve when I heard a twig snap behind me. Now, most of the time, one would recognize that twig snapping in a forest would be common, with animals moving about the brush. However, I can promise you that from the time I entered Aokigahara until that very moment, the forest was enveloped in utter silence other than any noise I made. So when the twig snapped behind me, I could feel the hairs on my neck prickling. Turning slowly from my seated position on the ground, I leaned back to get a view past the tent. The campfire was small and only illuminated the ground in front of me. Beyond the tent, blackness inked the tree line, obscuring whatever lurking about out there. My eyes tried to focus on the outline of the trees, but the flickering firelight made it difficult to see anything. I was starting to question my sanity when another twig snapped, a little further to the left of me. At the sound, I jumped up, still gripping the water bottle and pills lightly in my hands. It never occurred to me to bring weapons of some sort, or to even check to see if predators made home in Aokigahara. "Hello?" I said meekly, and then mentally kicked myself. I had seen enough movies to know if something didn't know I was here, it did now. Another twig snapped, this time closer to my small camp. I moved quickly, putting the tent and campfire between me and whatever was moving about the area. After a moment, my eyes focused where the noise came from, and I felt blood pounding my temples. On the other side of the tent, just where the light did not reach, stood a small figure I could make out well. From the size, it appeared to be a small woman, swaying back and forth, rippling the shadows that surrounded her. I heard the breathing then, like shallow gasps one would take when derived of air, and felt my body freeze in terror. I didn't know what I would do if I saw her, and part of me recognized that I should not see her at all, that if she moved into the light, the fear would overtake me and something awful would happen. So when her face appeared from the darkness, I couldn't hold back the scream that ripped from my throat. Dropping the water bottle and pills, I turned and fled into the night, only catching a glimpse of the gray, dirty face of the woman in my camp. There was a crazy terror in her eyes, and that was enough for me to know I needed to get the hell out of the forest. The problem was I hadn't planned to race through the forest at night, so I had nothing more than clothes I wore as I fled the campsite. I wasn't even sure if I was heading back in the original direction I came from, but all I knew was whatever found me out there was not something I wanted to reach me. After a few minutes, I slowed, breathing hard. The initial adrenaline rush was enough to get me far away, but I was still dealing with the effects of the chemotherapy. I sat down on a stump and tried to inhale, the cold air of the night chilling my lungs. Once I caught my breath, I looked around my surroundings and felt a surge of despair. If I was anywhere close to the path, I saw no markers indicating the direction. If anything, this part of the forest devoid of any signs of human life. I pushed myself off the stump and started hurrying the way I was traveling, hoping I would at least end up on another path. I started walking as quickly as possible, trying to stay quiet in the event that creature had followed me. It was evident after a little bit of time, though, that I was completely lost. I hadn't seen another path, and the forest was getting denser each step I took. Hopelessness set in, and I found myself a fallen log to rest on. I figured I'd wait out the rest of the night, then try and find my way back once there was light enough to see. It wasn't long, though, before I heard another twig snap, and I involuntarily let out a cry of frustration. Here I was, looking for some semblance of peace, yet here I am, running away from whatever was following me. "What do you want? What is it?" I cried out, the reasonable part of me thinking I'd lost it for trying to talk to the creature. A hot breath of air hit the back of my neck, and I let out a cry of terror, trying to scurry away from the source. I turned around and found the creature crawling toward me on hands and knees. I got a good look from the creature, and in a panic scrambled as quickly as I could away, clawing through the underbrush. While the look of terror remained in the woman's eyes, decay had set in on her features, exposing bone and a scent of death on her body. Her clothes were ragged, as if she'd run a marathon through the forest. Coagulated blood coated under her nose and her mouth, as if she had smeared that colored lipstick across her blackened lips. I tried to stand up, hoping to put speed on the creature, but felt a hand grip my leg and pull it out from under me. I hit the ground hard, dazed slightly from the jolt. Another scream of terror ripped through my throat as I was flipped over and dragged across the ground on my back. Something pressed against me, and the air was pushed out of my lungs as the thing crawled on top of me. The smell enough would have passed me out if the adrenaline wasn't pulsing through me. I struggled to get out of the creature's grasp, but she held me down with inhuman strength not evident in her small frame. At this point, I was hyperventilating as the creature crawled on top of me, staring down at me with her dark eyes. She was breathing as heavily as I would, her face obscured partially by her matted hair. She said something in Japanese which I did not understand, and then something like help escaped from her lips. I opened my mouth to scream again, but found the air from my lungs being pushed out as she choked me. The creature kept babbling at me while I clawed the ground, trying to find something to use against her to stop her from choking me to death. Her strength overtook me, though, and even in my healthiest state, I couldn't have fought her off. I felt myself begin to drift, and my hands relaxed from the ground. I did want to die, I thought to myself. I shouldn't fight it if this is what I wanted. My eyes sprang open, and sunlight poured over me. I heard the chattering of someone above me and tried to move from where I was laying. I couldn't move, though, and another wave of panic set in. "You're fine," someone said to me in perfect English. I'm ending there. There's more to the story, and it actually gets, there's more. There's a lot more to this story.
Dude, Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
It was a very compelling story. As soon as I read that, I was like, oh, I have to read this.
That's terrifying.
That is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, okay, whether this is true or false, regardless. Fuck, that was fucking, oh.
Reminds me of a story I wrote a long time ago. But just the crawling person. That's what gets me, is the crawling thing. I don't get it. It's fucking eerie.
I mean, I will say, you could listen to one of our earlier episodes. When me and Diane went to one of those haunted houses, there was a girl. We were on a path in these woods, and this girl, in the one spotlight, just sitting there on her hands and knees and just staring at us. And we stopped. And we're looking at it, and we're like, all right, that's fucking creepy. And the second we take a step, she bolts at us. Oh,
that was weird.
I watched that fall, actually. A cable just fell on the other side of the room, and we both tweaked.
It's because was it sitting in a weird way?
I mean, it's a cable sitting on the edge of a thing. I watched it fall.
Oh.
I saw it fall to the corner of my eye, and it kind of tweaked me out.
No, I was like, uh-oh.
So, that is just a taste of Aokigahara.
Jesus Christ.
I will admit, I do want to go.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely on the bucket list. I have to get over to Aokigahara.
Yeah. Yeah, I will be there. I will be there. Need to get as much evidence of paranormal stuff as we can,
Now, if we were going to go there, would we camp?
I would.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. You kidding me?
I'd do it. I'd be kind of tweaked.
Oh, there's no doubt about being fucking scared, but I'm still gonna do it. Yeah, you have to be scared.
I want to be super prepared and have like a fucking propane grill with a bunch of fucking propane canisters and a big cooler filled with lots of good stuff.
I just imagine you like walking into the woods looking like Kurt Russell in The Thing with a flamethrower.
I said I was going to bring food.
I'm going camping.
And you picture me with a flamethrower?
Yeah, I don't know why I just did a southern accent too. That is not the movie at all.
Yeah, you kind of mixed a lot there.
The Thing in the Woods, starring Kurt Russell and a flamethrower.
I mean, I'm willing to bet many people are just thinking there. I'd see it.
Actually, as I was saying it, I was like, I'd see it.
I'd see it.
Pretty much, you put Kurt Russell in anything, I'll see it.
Yeah.
That was a weird way to...
that was a weird way to trail off, but that's okay. This is Witch's Hill. That's what we do.
Yes, this is true.
But
again, we're gonna say that if you are having these type of feelings that you just can't move on or anything, call the suicide hotline. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call 1-800-273-8255.
So, I keep thinking something, and then I forget it the second I'm about to say it. This is bad. My memory's getting bad.
Chocolate cocks?
Chocolate cocks. With marshmallow filling.
There's an abundance of mallow. Oh, God.
Oh, man. Big mallow, baby.
Big mallow.
Guys! We did not. We just did that on air.
Yeah, we did. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Well, we have definitely seen the Blair Thumb.
And I think you should too.
Yeah, watch Franken Thumb too. It was
I think we're gonna post this stuff, and you can see these posts if you follow us on all the social media. Follow us on all the social medias.
Yes,
Facebook,
all the
Twitter,
medias of social.
Instagram.
Yes, at Instagram at Let's Talk Horror.
Facebook.com/WitchesHillRadio.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember the tag for the Twitter.
That's just Witches Hill.
Oh, okay.
Just Witches_Hill.
Well, there we go.
Yes.
So we got a good plan for next week. So guys,
I think so. Oh God.
You guys are gonna like next week's episode.
What's it gonna be about, Tim?
We're not gonna say.
That's a fun episode. I can't wait.
Yeah. And until then, we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Witches Hill.